Okay, we're going to take a little break from our typical routine that we've been in over the past several weeks together. And this week, you're going to start working on your case study projects. As you said in the beginning of the course, the culminating project for this particular course is to do a group case study. And so what we're going to do is go through make sure you get set up this week on everything you need to be successful in creating this case. Now, the objective of this particular lecture is that you are able to identify the requirements necessary for a successful completion of the case study project. The objective for the case study in general is that you are able to present a culminating case study that incorporates the objectives of the course, utilizing and pulling from all the things that we've talked about now to put it together in one comprehensive. You have an overview document that is posted on D2L, and I suggest that you use that frequently and refer to it throughout your time that you are working on your case study so that you are assured that you are completing everything that you need to have done for the case study. It will be completed as a group. You will be getting an email from me, if you haven't already done so, that will give you your group assignments. And these are the people that you will be working with together to create one culminating project. Now, the final project that you're going to create actually consists of 3 pieces. That includes a written case study paper, one paper for the group, a presentation, and a group participation evaluation. Throughout the rest of this material in this lecture, I'm going to shed some light on what's required for each of those 3 parts, again, so that you can be successful in the course. So your groups are going to are assigned to you, as I said, either via email. By email, you may have or will soon be receiving your names of your other group members that you are working with. You're going to get, as a group, a list of medications that have been prescribed for your client. So you have this person and they are on several medications. And what you are going to do is now basically you're going to mold or create this person based upon their medications that they are taking. So the medications are the only information I'm going to give you about this person. So as your group starts to work together and starts coming up with ideas, what does this person look like? Okay, how old are they? What sex are they? Where do they work? All those type of things. What's this person's lifestyle about? You're going to start working together and jotting down some notes. You will be creating a case study paper, and there will be one paper submitted for the entire group. There is a case study paper rubric that is posted up on D2L, and I suggest you take a good look over that because it explains to you exactly what needs to be in the paper and how you can get the best grade possible on that paper. If you follow the rubric and do everything you're supposed to in the highest points column, then you will get the highest possible points on the paper. Everybody in the group is submitting this paper, so I get one paper from the group. Okay? I won't get 3 or 4, however many people in your group's papers. I will get one paper submitted for the entire group. So one of the things you're going to need to decide is ultimately who is going to be the keeper of the paper, and how you're going to divvy up the responsibilities for writing the paper. Everybody in the group is going to receive the same grade on the paper. So, once the paper is submitted, I will grade it, and everybody in your group will get the single paper grade on your case study. Things that you want to have in your paper. First, you want to have, it should have a cover page. because I will be printing these out then and reading them. So you want to have a cover page on it. And on your cover page, of course, you want to include, the members of your group, maybe a title or a header for your paper. And then each section of your paper should begin with a heading. I'm going to go through the things that you need to include in this case study, but when you look at a case study, someone who is reviewing case study should be able to go, okay, I want to know medical history. I want to know medications. I want to know signs and symptoms, to be able to very quickly go to that section of the case study. They should not have to narratively read through it to find specific topics. So you want to make sure you are using topical headings throughout. So when you do your various sections of your case study, make sure they have a heading and then the information for that heading underneath them. Overall, the paper should be citations that are done within the paper should be done in APA format. If you're not familiar with it, you can go on to the Hack Library website and get some help with it, as well as there are a number of things such as Son of Citation Machine out there that very easily help you put your items into correct APA format. So the last page of your paper should be a references page with the references you've used, and they should be cited in APA. So now, what exactly are the contents of the paper? For one thing, usually a case study will start out, the very first thing is the client's name. You guys are going to have to name your patient. So come up with a name fitting up to your client. Should include demographic information, such as how old are they? Are they male? Are they female? What's their date of birth? Maybe, where do they live? That could be significant to your medications or to the illnesses and disorders or conditions that are being treated, maybe geographically specific. So any background information that gives us paints a picture of who exactly your patient is goes into that demographic information. Then there should be a list of current medications, which is that one I will be giving to you. So that one's pretty straightforward. A list of the medications that they are. You also want to then include a medical history. And this is what has been going on with your patient. You want to create a medical history that connects with the medications that they've been taking. Your medical history can start anywhere you wish. If you're a family physician office and it starts that you've been dealing with this person since birth, you can start your medical history there. If it's this person is now 60 years old and just finally seeing a physician, then your case study can start there. However your scenario plays out, however this person is built, that's how you want to base your medical history. Your medical history can include several visits to the physician's office if you wish. This doesn't have to be just one visit, including all the medications. Maybe there's been a progression. Maybe they started on some of the medications, but then they were taken off the medications and put on different medications. Again, it's really going to vary on how you want to paint the scenario of what's going on with your client. But that medical history is going to lead us through what's been going on with the patient and why they're taking the medications or have been taking the medications that you have been assigned. What symptoms, what symptoms did they have when they were put on this medication? How did it occur? What things went on to diagnose the disorder? How, if they came back for a follow-up, how did they do with the medications? Did we cure what was wrong with them? Did it not work? Did they have an allergic reaction? All those type of things would follow through in the story of the person that you are creating. You also want to include an analysis of the medications. In this section, you want to describe each of the medication, how it relates to the disease process or the condition that the person has, basically, as we've been talking, what were the clinical indications? And we know for various medications there could be a number of different clinical indications. So what was the clinical indication for this patient with this medication? And then then some background on the medication itself, how it assists in treating this particular patient's disorder. Okay, what it should do for this patient. What's the therapeutic effect that we expect to see from this medication with this patient? So the section on analyzing medications is a lot of what the things are that you've done in your drug summaries and bringing it together now and applying it to this particular patient. There will also be a section in your paper on patient education. And what we're looking with in patient education is that there are some things that we've been talking about all along in the course, that when a person is on particular medications, they need to be aware of certain things specifically to that medication. Maybe there's some dietary restrictions. Maybe there's some activity restrictions. Um, Maybe they should take them at night, daytime, or maybe there's some specific side effects that they should be aware of. So there's a variety of things that come along, as you know, with the medications that we need to teach the patients. So you want a section or to include what are some things specifically that you would do in relation to the medications when working with this patient. And that should include at least three. So at least three points of education that you want to do with this client. And you can write this in first person as if you did these things with the client already, or if if you want to do this more narrative and put in the second person that we would have discussed, you can do that too. Whichever way you choose to approach that is up to you. Once you have your paper done and you know what your person looks like, then you want to go about creating a group presentation. And again, all your group members need to have input in this, but how you want to do this is totally up to you. You can do a slideshow and put a slideshow up. You can do a photo story. You could do a music video. You could do a video. You could just do a rap. There's a whole many. I mean, I've seen students do so many different things in their group presentations. So I don't want to lock you into any one thing. But basically, what you want is, a 6-minute or so presentation that portrays your client. And 6 minutes is not that long, but I don't want it to go more than 10 minutes. So somewhere between 6 and 10, we should be able to get a good picture of what this person looks like, what they went through, and the medications that they are on and why. Again, this is free. This is creativity, up to you guys. However you want to do to portray this. I've had so many a variety of different ways that students have portrayed this, and it is I don't want to. I'm not locking you into any particular way or any particular thing. It's really open to your imagination. The point being that you get across to the other students in the class what this client looks like, why they're on these medications, and how they progressed and handled it. What you're going to do then is there's one discussion board up for each of your case studies. If you are assigned case study number 1, then you will post your presentation up to case study number 1 discussion board. If you're assigned case study 2, you will post your presentation up to case study number 2 discussion board by the due date, etc., on down the line. And then once the case studies are up, you want to go and start looking at other people's and see what they've done and review them. Ultimately, what happens is all the medications that you are going to be presenting on are all medications that we have done throughout the semester. So this is advantageous for you as another study tool coming into the final, that you're hearing the medications and you're seeing them again and how they work again. So it's a review to you in what may be coming up on the final. So it's really advantageous for you to get up and look at the other case studies and look at them and then comment them on them. If you have a question, if you have something you don't understand, post the question up to the group. And then what the groups need to do is kind of go back in and look periodically, and you want to address any questions or comments. If you really like what someone's done, put it up there. When I evaluate the presentations, part of the evaluation is, did the audience get it? Did they understand? And did you get your point across? And were you able to respond to questions that were posted? So it's very helpful that you help each other out, ask each other questions, and then respond back to questions, because that all does get factored in to your presentation grade. There is a rubric, case study presentation rubric, that is up, that again you can use as your guide for the expectations for the presentation. But again, it is very generic because I want you to use your imaginations. There's probably at least one creative person in each of your groups that's going to come up with something that you're going to go, wow, I didn't think of that, or that's really great. And you can go from there with it. So the presentation piece will be due a week after the paper and will get posted up on the discussion board for the rest of the class to review and to post. Then the last part of this, as I said, is group participation. Each member of your group will receive a group participation grade. There is a rubric posted, again, that says group participation. And when you are done, when you have posted your presentation up, then what you want to do is you want to look at that rubric and you want to decide a grade for yourself as well as for every member in your group based upon that rubric. If every member of your group contributed and worked well and gave equal amounts into the presentation, then I would expect that everybody's going to get the same grade coming back to me. If there are some members who weren't pulling their weight, who didn't participate, who kind of sat back and did nothing, I expect that you're going to reflect that. What's going to happen is you're going to submit that into a Dropbox. So it'll be, I'm the only one who's going to know what grades you gave to your other group members. Your other group members are not going to know that. Each of you is going to submit a grade for yourself as well as the other members in your group. When they all come into me, I will then go and average them out, and you will get a score of the average of your group participation added into your grade. So just keep that in mind as you're working. You want to make sure that you're pulling your weight so that your other group members rate you highly also, and then everybody gets a great grade in the group participation piece. There is an opportunity within this whole thing to get some bonus points, and that is back on the presentations. There's an opportunity for each person in the class to get at least up to 5 bonus points, and that is for their responses and their questions posted to other people's presentations. So again, there's an extra incentive for you to go and look at other people's presentations and go and post up to them any replies, any comments, any questions. I will be watching that, and then I will be awarding bonus points for that. So at this point, I'm hoping you have a really good handle on the expectations for this case study. This may be something new. It's probably something new that you have not done before in an online class. And so I do anticipate that there will be a lot of questions. As a result, there is a case study questions discussion board. Any questions that you have that specifically deal with the case study, put them up there. So that I can respond back Plus, it'll let anybody else may have that same question, and they can go up there and look and go, oh, okay, that's what she means by that. By all means, if you have a personal question about this or about anything else within the course, something that you're personally having an issue with that doesn't relate specifically to the case study, you can always feel free to email me and I will get back to you in that fashion. So go through, review the overview. There is a checklist for this week, so you do want to make sure that you go down and you've completed everything on the checklist. And I'm looking forward to seeing where we're going and what you guys come up with on your case studies. Have fun.